Hi everybody, sorry for being late. Waiting for some people to come on. So, how are you doing? How are you all enjoying the snow out there? You enjoying the craziness of the weather? We're going to talk a little bit about that and how that affects where we're going. So I figured since a lot of us are hunkered in, especially if we're in the New England states, that I would give you a glimpse into what I like to call for 2018 as the year of magic, miracles, paradoxes, social justice, and opportunities. That's kind of a lot to chew. And then I figured I'd give you 5 tips to help guide you through the year. And so what we're going to talk about first is what 2017 revealed. So as a lot of you can remember, 2017 was there was a lot of ups, a lot of downs. I know for me, there was changes, but then when there were adverse events, there was miraculous or unexpected blessings. And I'm going to explain to you how that plays into what we're experiencing going into 2018. But what I will say is that many of us, if not all of us, have been faced with challenges last year. And as I learned many, many years ago, and I'm going to apologize in advance for my fresh language, but I learned this many years ago when I was still in corporate, and what we were taught was that we're all either in a pile of shit, just getting out of a pile of shit, or just getting into a pile of shit. The difference between one or another is how we handle it and deal with it. So what I will say is those of us that have actually been embracing these changes and going with the flow, been doing your work, you may have seen some amazing things even with some of these adversities that you may have experienced. One of the things that I know is that with each adversity, like I said before, that I had last year, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story of what happened in a bit, but equally was welcomed with an unexpected blessing. So one of the other things I learned was that when that happened as well, we learned clearer. And what I mean by that is we see what we choose to see. And a lot of us have heard this, but to actually experience it and actually be in a state of awareness and know what's happening when that happens is different. So hence, last year we learned a lot about the art of perception and perspective. So how many of you actually get signs? How many of you get signs? You know, whether it's numbers, pennies, feathers. How many of you guys get signs? Do you guys get signs? Well, I'm going to tell you a story of what happened last year to maybe kind of shed some light on maybe where we're going. I went for training in San Diego. It was absolutely wonderful last June. I came back the next day and I heard a funny noise in my car. And Spirit has been telling me for a while that I need to probably get another one, but I kept saying, just give me one more year. Give me one more year so I can save up more money. Just give me one more year. Well, I took it to a mechanic and they said my head gasket was getting ready to blow and that I probably needed about $3,000 or $4,000 worth of work to my car, and I almost freaked out. But instead I went to town and I said, okay, I'm going to go, maybe it's time to trade in, and I'm going to go looking for a car. My first 2 choices was either a Honda Pilot or a Toyota Highlander. And my third choice was like maybe a Hyundai or a Kia. And there was one day I went down to go look at a car. I was really kind of frustrated over the prices of the used car market. And as I'm driving to go look at a car, I saw the number 555 4 times en route to the dealership. And I said, okay, well, yeah, I know that means change. There's a big change coming, right? So I get there, I said, okay, I'll test drive. I looked at this Kia Sorento, and I'm like, well, but it's really not what I'm looking for. So I went to a powwow, went with my partner, Arnie. Some of you know who Arnie is. And we're talking, and he goes, you know what, maybe you ought to go look at that car again. So I went. And we went and looked at it. He says, how many miles does it have on it? And I said, 23,555 miles. I instantly started chuckling and laughing right there. That was my sign that I knew that that was the car we were supposed to have. Well, I'm not going to go into too many details, but the sale kind of fell through that day. And I was a little upset, so I decided to fix my car, and I spent over $3,000 repairing my car over 2 months, and didn't have it for about a month, and I got discouraged because the engine light kept coming back on, and I was in this kind of vessel, and I said, okay, universe, I need a sign. Guide me and show me where I need to go. So as I'm in this pickle, literally, that was one night, I woke up the next morning, and here was an email that the Kia Sorento that I wanted, that they wouldn't haggle on, was reduced by $3,000. Exactly right now into my budget. I went down there, and make a long story short, I bought the car. So here were all these signs I was getting, and in that process, I'm kind of making it fast, but I had all these signs, okay? How many of you get signs, and do we really listen to those signs, or are we too busy being busy that we ignore those signs? All right? The universe has been communicating with us, and that communication has actually accelerated over the past year. And my question to you is, are you listening? Are we listening? And I know a lot of us are. And to kind of give you what I mean by that is, to give you an example, Hurricane Irma did a lot of destruction, right? We know it devastated Puerto Rico still hasn't recovered. But the one thing I've learned being a survivor of trauma is that to always look for the silver lining, okay? One of the silver linings, we know that people really kind of stepped up. They helped, when people are in need, people step up and help, whether it's food, clothing, shelter. But the one thing I found very profound, where the universe was making its voice heard, was an ancient canoe surfaced out of the Atlantic Ocean. This canoe predated colonialization, okay? At the same time, they somehow, I guess, discovered, I still can't understand how they didn't know this forest existed, but a cypress forest was submerged in the ocean as well, and it was an ancient forest. So for me, these are little signs that the universe is communicating to us, letting us know that the ancient wisdoms are returning. And it's a choice of whether or not we're actually listening, okay? The other thing that I noticed last year was the Me Too movement. How many of you have found the Me Too movement? Some of you might be exhausted by it, but for me personally, I found it to be extraordinarily powerful. What I witnessed, I never thought I would actually see in my entire lifetime, coming from somebody that is a survivor of trauma, multiple traumas, and being denied justice and seeing the corruption behind the scenes, because there is a huge bias that most people, when I tried telling my story 10, 12, 15 years ago, everybody thought I was crazy. Nobody thought that the things that happened to me actually possibly could have, or that I had to have played some role. So seeing the Me Too movement happen was extraordinarily awesome. Awesome. Why? Because the media finally started to report. Women started to band together. Men started to support women. This whole support system saying enough is enough. We have this rise, and I'm going to say the continued rise of the divine feminine. And whether or not you're a man on this or you're a woman, we all have the divine feminine. It's part of the yin and yang and the balance of the energies that are within us. This has nothing to do with whether or not you are a female sex or a male sex. This is the divine energies that run throughout us and within our veins, okay? This energy is rising, and it's going to continue to rise. So one of the things that I also noticed that happened, that I remember saying, geez, to a colleague of mine that does national advocacy, I said, I will believe that this Me Too movement is going to make an impact when I start seeing family court judges and those that render harm to the 58,000 children every year that are legally trafficked and given to documented abusers every year, that there's some accountability and justice there. So welcome into the Roy Moores, right? What a historic election. None of us thought that he was going to lose because of it being where it was. And to me, I saw it as a pure miracle. Yes, it is howling quite. I'm on the 3rd floor of my house, so the wind is howling. And so for me, it was a pure miracle that Roy Moore didn't get elected. This guy was a pedophile who was already reprimanded multiple times on the bench as a judge, who also gave custody to documented abusers because, well, geez, he didn't like the fact that the mother was a lesbian and called her a demon, you know? I mean, these are things that I personally witnessed when I did advocacy work, both in my story, but a lot of others in the state of Massachusetts. So to actually see it play out in the public and to have this kind of response, I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. So I just felt that this was one huge miracle, and let's keep riding this train. Then to see after that the subsequent fallout of other appellate court judges for sexual misconduct. And again, I was like, wow, I need to pinch myself. Is this real? Where am I going with all this? Well, this led me to finally having the courage to do the series. If you haven't watched the series, the Today I Bless My Junk series, and I go into my story, things that I've never actually in the first video, I never talked about ever to anybody in public, or even personally, ever until that video. So the Me Too movement gave me courage to speak and to tell my story, but not only just my story, but my healing path. What have I done? And tips for others that may not know the process and how to be supportive, how to listen, and tips to how to navigate what's happening. So this was also followed by a class that kind of came out as impromptu on teaching others on how to bless their junk. And I'm going, wow, this is amazing. So this is where 2017 kind of climaxed. But the one thing I realized that going into 2018, in order for us to have the kind of life we want, we must heal our past in order to move forward. Okay? Being a trauma survivor and a healer, I go into details about a lot of this on how I did that. But what I can say is miracles are about to happen on so many fronts and in so many dimensions, I promise you. But if you are still living in fear, denial, refusing to look at your shadow, wanting to embrace it, still wanting to run away from it, I'm sending you love, but this year might be challenging for you, okay? But if you are surrendering to all that is, all your good, what happens when your shadow comes to light? It can no longer exist. It dissipates, right? It just dissipates. So this whole Me Too movement restored a lot that I thought was lost forever. So last year there was a lot of old traumas I noticed surfacing just with people I worked with, especially since the solar eclipse in August. And a lot of these old traumas may not have even just been yours, but they're also generational and karmic. These are all the energies that are just coming to the surface to be cleansed and released so we can continue and ascend, okay? We've faced our shadow selves, work on cleaning up our own vibrations, hence, aka clean, your junk, deal with your junk. Healing the past is very important to moving forward. Some of us have faced, I've seen this, unexplained, serious, life-threatening healing crisis. And many times in these cases, the doctors had no idea what's going on. Or it would take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months to finally figure out what's going on. Okay? And in that case, I want to say to you, if you're experiencing that, many of you heard me talk about the three-legged stool, the mental self, the physical self, and the spiritual self. Well, a lot of times the part that gets neglected the most is the spiritual self. So what if your crisis isn't necessarily medical, but it's spiritual in nature? And that needs to be healed. And when you heal that, then you can heal the physical and everything else that comes along with it, okay? But here's the reality, and this is why I think a lot of us, oh, thank you. Thank you. Love listening to you and learning. Blessings. Happy New Year. Thank you. I'm glad, because this makes me feel good that you get some benefit out of this. So, well, here's the reality why I think a lot of us avoid this process. Why? Let's be real. Healing sucks, right? Healing sucks. It can be exhausting. It can be painful. Why? Because we have to leave the illusion of what we think what is, and leave the illusion and get raw and get real. Many of us may even question life and your fear, but we push through. What happens when we push through a storm? You want to get to a rainbow, right? But you can't get a rainbow just out of thin air. You have to see a storm that's behind it, right? So you have to go through that storm in order to get to the rainbow. And it's through the adversity that we can find our greatest gifts. Remember, I know a lot of you heard me talk about the caterpillar, right? We all want to become the butterfly, right? We want to become the butterfly. We want to fly. We want to be free. But we can't become the butterfly if we keep all the attachments associated with the caterpillar. We have to let go of all the identity of who the caterpillar is and what they represent. We have to leave those behind in order to become the butterfly. So part of healing the past is learning to let go. A lot of it's learning to let go of control. A lot of us are control freaks. Okay, let's get real. Let's get raw. All right? So in order to let go, there's a process. A lot of us say, well, how do you let go? Well, I'm going to tell you. You have to feel, which is the number one thing we all want to avoid. We have to feel. We have to get raw, we have to get real, and we have to feel. And then when we can feel, then we can understand. Not necessarily maybe understand what happened, but we can understand where our feelings are coming from so we can move forward. When that happens, then we can let go. Okay? So 2018 is also the year. Now this also makes me so excited. I'm hoping you're on this with me too. But 2018 is also the year for social justice and social awareness. Woohoo! How are you excited about that? So if you are looking at wanting to fix, wanting to make change, being a catalyst, this is the year to do it, okay? I still, like I said, I want to pinch myself in shock of what I witnessed with this whole metoo movement, the Roy Moores and the subsequent judges and everything else that kind of came out as a falling. The momentum has not stopped. It is continuing. They even created, now you see millions of dollars being contributed to a legal fund. I've always said for the last 12 years of me doing this work, the biggest thing that hinders any survivor from moving forward is they lack legal representation, and many times they are punished in such a way they don't have the resources to hire legal representation. So to see all these women and men coming together to put together a legal fund to prevent more Me Too's and to help other survivors is amazing. I do suspect you're going to start seeing a lot more allegations. Some of them are going to be really surprising. And the reason being is because the divine feminine energies, again, we're dealing with the womb, right? Mother Earth right now is pissed off at us. Why? Because we've disrespected her, we've neglected her, we've abused her. That's the divine feminine. We're part of all this. So when we can go back to our roots and nurture, right? Nurture that divine feminine that's in all of us. It is the divine feminine that gives birth, that will give birth to everything that you seek, okay? There is karmic justice thread. It is real and it is here right now. So if you've been seeking justice, it is happening. May not happen on your time. Remember that. It's always on the universe's time. But it's happening at quantum leaps and speeds. The 2018 energies are so perfectly aligned to set up for you to move into doing and choosing a social justice project. I can't tell you. If you want to do it, this is the year to do it. But I will say, do not come from a place of anger when you do. be mindful of your energies when you get involved, because it might backlash on you. So you've got to come from a place of purity and of heart, not of anger, okay? And as we continue to ascend, these veils will continue to lift, and more of us are becoming aware, okay? And what happens when that happens? We are disturbing the imbalances of power, and those that are awakening want to seek and be part of a catalyst of this grand shift. Yay, right? Yay, who wants to be part of that? So right now, with this year of social justice, do not stand by the sidelines. Stand up, rise up, and act. Now is your time, okay? The next point is the paradoxes. This is a year of paradoxes, and this is all surrounding because we are in a master number year 11. We only have 3 master numbers in the science of numerology. 11 is one of them. So this is a grand year for paradoxes. Why do I say that? Because there is an element of us that still wants to live in anger or fear or worry. We are addicted to it. We are addicted to our dramas. Okay, if you are one of those. So 2018 can be one of 2 things. On the positive, it can be representative of manifesting, of miracles and opportunities. On the negative, it can represent fear, anger, and worry. And you're going to get more of that amplified. Why? Because the number 11 will amplify whatever you put out there. So, which is why we say a lot of times, be careful what you think, because you're manifesting it at a very accelerated rate. Okay, some of us got a glimpse of that last year. I know I did. Okay, when we set our intentions in the right way, the universe came back very quickly and responded and gave us the answers. But when we came from a place of fear or anger or worry, what happened? We got more of it, right? So it is crucial for you to keep your thoughts positive and to shift your perspective. Now here's something else that's also stemming from the end of last year that's carrying over into 2018. It is important to watch your health and manage your stress and levels of burnout, okay? We have been moving and shifting at such accelerated rates. Our bodies are taking time to adjust and adapt, okay? And as I said, many have developed hot healing crises, okay? This is where balance comes in. We have been, which has been actually a circulating theme for probably a few years now, learning to maintain balance. So this health really kind of I saw it really kind of manifest really strongly again, like I said, when the solar eclipse hit. I felt like bam, 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 bam. People were hit with one health crisis after another, or it was just really hard, really heavy. So what I will say, it's very important for you to build a dialogue with your body, aka listen to the wisdom of the body. I know many of you heard me talk about this before. The theme of self-care is more crucial than ever, okay? And in order to weather these stresses that we might be faced, okay? So that means watching the food that you eat. Is it, I like to say, is what you're putting in your mouth arsenic, or is it medicine? So think about that. And your sleep, and go and get a Reiki treatment. Go get some acupuncture or massage. These are all good, or reflexology. These are all good therapies to help you with your self-care, okay? Take a yoga class or a Tai Chi, or take a painting class, whatever it might be to stimulate that part of yourself, to release some of those toxicities that are carrying that need to be released. Also, stop people pleasing. Stop pretending to be somebody you're not. These are all self-care techniques. Put yourself first, okay? You need to not be on the, self-care needs to no longer be on the bottom of the list. It needs to be at the top of the list. It needs to be number 1 or 2 on your list every day. And that will resonate and then carry on into your family, your children, your parents. A lot of us are learning about when we care for ourselves and we heal our own cords within us, it carries on genetically, and our children change, our parents change, all these things, because we're all connected. We're all connected. So here's 5 tips to guide you. One is to really focus and practice the art of presence. Okay, some of us like to refer to as mindfulness. I like using the word presence because sometimes when you hear mindfulness, I want to say your mind is full of shit. Okay, so I feel like there's like a double language there. But really master the art of presence. Be aware. Be aware of your thoughts. Be aware of your actions. Be aware of what's happening around you. Okay? Be aware of what's happening in you. Be aware of the body. Be aware of what your body is saying to you. Number 2, listen to the wisdom of the body. Your body is designed to heal itself. It also speaks to you loud and clearly. But a lot of us have become tone deaf. We need to build that relationship up again. Number 3, keep your thoughts positive, right? We talked about that. Keep your thoughts positive. We are in a manifestation mode. We're in an 11 year. So if you're thinking positive and you focus on worry and fear, that's going to just amplify. So if you don't like that, you need to keep your thoughts positive in order to get positive results. It's more crucial than ever. Number 4, self-care. Again, like I said, you can no longer put that on the bottom of the list. It needs to be on the top of the list. Okay? Yeah. So, number 5, rise up and act. This is a social justice year. I have never seen this play out so strongly in the 12 years I've been doing this work. Probably not even the 12 years combined can I say that I haven't seen this movement so strong. The energies have never been more supported than they are right now for you to jump on some sort of social justice project. Okay? 2018 is a big, big year. It's a year full of opportunities and miracles if we use the energies right. So let's play some cards. All right, let's see what the cards have to say. You guys ready for some cards? Who's ready? Let's see what wants to come out here. Interesting. The relationship card. But what I see with this card is it's telling me the relationship needs to be with you. The relationship needs to be, because if you want to attract the relationships you want with others, it starts with the relationship you have with yourself. If you gaslight yourself, if you abuse yourself, if you neglect yourself, if you don't take care of yourself, how would you expect others to do the same? So you need to have the greatest love affair with yourself first. Okay? Let's go to another card, see what it says from another deck. All right, they're kind of really, here we go. Ha! Why am I not surprised at this? The lion. When I see the lion, it's interesting. The lion is representative of courage, but you know what it's really courage of? Taming your ego. Telling your head and your ego to, excuse my language, shut the fuck up. And allowing that inner guidance, that soul voice, to take over. To trust that you are on the right path. There is no place for ego to control you anymore. You are being guided to trust. The lion is here to support you and to give you courage, to tame the ego. You can do it. You just have to ask and you have to surrender. So who else is ready? I'll do 1 or 2 more cards and then we're going to end. So who would like a card to be pulled? Who would like a card pulled? Any takers, or am I just getting a delay on my end? Who would like a card pulled? Anybody want a card? Who wants a card pulled for today? Dusha, you want a card pulled? Donna. Okay, let's see. I'm being drawn to the animal cards again. Let's see, Donna. What do we have for you? Donna, you got the hawk. The hawk is a great seer and a great bird for wisdom. But you also need to be able to choose your priorities and eliminate whatever distractions. I feel like there's a lot of busy work. So I feel like you need to kind of get grounded and to not do the busy work and to really define your priorities. And on the top of that list needs to be you. One of the things I see with hawk, it's a great seer and a great bird of wisdom. So there's a lot to be said for hawk. All right, it's very connected to the spiritual world. And I want to say these distractions are prohibiting you from moving to the direction you want. So I feel like you just need to kind of quiet the mind so you can see better. And you will. All right. And I apologize. My screen is flipping, so I know I missed a few people that said they wanted. I'll see if I can flip through. Who was next? All right, Mary DeClerc. And then I'll do one more after Mary, be Michelle, and then we're going to call it a day. Let's see. Mary, I'm actually feeling to go back to the other deck. Let's see. What do we have for Mary today? Mary, self-esteem. And that's, I'm not kind of surprising. So that is, you know, a theme that I've seen play out as, like, for instance, the metoo and the divine feminine energies continue to rise. A lot of it's rising, but a lot of us have been hit. Our self-esteems have been hit. And so some of us need to really go in and understand that it's okay to be vulnerable again. That you are worthy, you are deserving. And you need to start putting you first. Okay? You need to understand that you possess the very gifts of soul. And to trust that when you work on those things, you don't have to be in fear or feel that you're not worthy. You'll be able to come from a place where your light shines so bright that it just, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. You've got that. Okay? And Michelle, let's see. Let's see. All right, this one kind of popped out here. Oh, interesting, Michelle. You got the dolphin. I love dolphin energy. Dolphins are very intelligent. They know how to discern, very easy, not really, but they know how to communicate, and they can do it without words. So you have an ability to use not your mouth, but other ways to communicate more effectively. And I want to say, don't make this work. This is a grand year, 2018. I said it's like a year of manifesting and of miracles and all these things. Thank you, Bill. It's a time to play. It's a time to enjoy. Dolphins love to play. I remember going to whale watch, and on the way back, we had a school of 2 species of dolphins in the same pod, which the researcher said was, out of the 30 years in her career, this is the second time she's ever seen that. And it was absolutely amazing. So for you, I want to say, embrace the dolphin energy. Take in their wisdom, their intelligence, especially on the emotional plane, because they're in water. So water is very emotional. So I want to say, don't be so serious. Learn to, when you raise your vibration up through play or through gratitude, you raise it up, then you don't feel this weight or burden on you anymore. It's just a matter, it's like a little carburetor adjustment. You can do this. I know you can. And I feel like you already know this. And I feel like these are things that you've already been feeling and that you know. And you'll get this. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed the live feed today. I am doing a special $10 off of readings for anybody who wants to book a reading today only. $10 off of readings, $10 off of online Reiki sessions or meditation coaching or spiritual guidance. So private message me if you would like to take advantage of that. So, thank you, Mary. You gave me chills. I've been working on my self-esteem. I really want to shine my light. Thank you. You got it. You got it, girl. It's in. This is the year to do it. All the energies are here to support you, but we just have to shift our vibration. If we, again, it's a master year. We can make it a year of miracles if we just trust in the process. You can do this. All right. So thank you very much, Michelle. You're so right. I will play more. Good. Yay! So I'm here. Like I said, if anybody wants to book an online reading, I'm here today taking $10 off. My website is Healing with Spirit, www.laurahealingwithspirit.com. Thank you for spending your morning with me. Have a great day. Enjoy the storm and listen to the wisdom of this blizzard, because I'm guarantee you Mother Earth's going to have a lot to say. If we just quiet the mind from the minutia of what we see in the material world and go deeper and listen to what she has to say. All right? Have a great day. Bye-bye.